devastating news, I would say, but I don't think it was unexpected given the time period of the season. Caitlin Clark announced on her social media that she will miss the rest of the season. She captioned it in short, in part, I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with a singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. She was limited to 13 games this season.
Candace Parker just dropped a truth bomb the WNBA hoped would never surface. Caitlin Clark being shut down for the rest of the year isn't just a setback for Indiana. It's a league-wide crisis. And the whispers are only getting louder. What if Clark decides she's had enough and walks away from the WNBA altogether? That's not paranoia. That's the nightmare scenario. The league thought it had time to patch its problems. It doesn't. Ask yourself, if Caitlin Clark quit tomorrow, what would the WNBA look like? Spoiler, a wreck. A mess too big to sweep under the rug. Clark, only 2 years into her pro career, is now sidelined with persistent groin and leg injuries. Her public comments may sound measured, but the frustration bleeds through. Fans can read between the lines. This isn't just about a lost season. It's about relentless pressure, an unsafe environment, and a league that refused to protect the very star holding it together alive.
She was limited to 13 games this season, and she hasn't played since July 15th when she suffered a right groin injury in the final minute of the Fever's win versus the Sun right before the All-Star game.
I mean, that's our girl. That's our girl. And I feel like no matter what happened, you have to protect you, and you have to protect your career.
Enter Candace Parker, a legend who knows exactly what it means to push a body too far. She didn't sugarcoat it. Parker said flat out that Clark made the right call by shutting it down. She admitted that late in her own career, she ignored the warning signs, tried to grind through the pain, and paid the price. Her message to Clark couldn't have been clearer. Don't let the league pressure you into risking your future. Don't repeat my mistake. Protect your body first. That's not just advice. That's hard-earned wisdom from one of the game's greatest.
There's no reason to force anything. And I feel like her just kind of having that approach of doing what's best for her is all we can ask for, because we'd rather Caitlin sit out and then come back next season and we're ready to roll and we're ready to rock. And so we've just been supporting her, and she's been supporting us. She's always there. We're getting to watch film, and she's in there walking through saying, hey, and we're like, get out, go do what you need to do. But I mean, she's still the same. And I feel like our approach, because we've been missing her for so long, is just to come in and compete. And we have a good rhythm, I think, with everyone that's came in. And so just keeping that as our main focus.
But here's the real issue. This isn't just about Clark's health. It's about the WNBA's future hanging by a thread. Every number that mattered, attendance, TV ratings, jersey sales, exploded because of her. She didn't just elevate the Fever, she dragged the entire league into relevance. And now their golden ticket is on the sideline in street clothes while executives scramble to spin the disaster. The obvious, terrifying question: what if Clark says, I'm done? What if she decides her career and her body mean more than wrecking herself for a league that refused to protect her? The fallout would be nuclear. Fans didn't show up because they suddenly cared about the WNBA logo. They showed up for Clark. They bought her tickets, wore her jersey, tuned in for her highlights. Take her away, and the arenas go dark. You're right back to half-empty gyms and forgotten live streams. And the worst part? This was avoidable. The league rolled the dice. Every game turned into a brawl. Hip checks, elbows, shoves in midair. Refs swallowed their whistles. The commissioner's office looked away. Everyone pretended it was just physical play. Now, the golden goose is broken for the season. Bravo, WNBA. Brilliant work.
Steph White had said that they were hopeful that Clark would return by the end of the regular season, but Caitlin was unable to fully reincorporate back into practice. And, she had never missed a game in her collegiate career or first year in the WNBA. So this is definitely a blow, I'm sure, for the organization, but also for her. Fever went 8-5 when Clark played and 15-15 without her. You all did win the Commissioner's Cup for the first time in franchise history without her. So maybe that is also another precursor. But big picture from the outside looking in, I have been a player that has had a number of injuries. And
Parker sees it for what it is. Playoff basketball isn't just tough, it's brutal. Faster, harder, nastier. The worst possible stage to push a star back from injury. You don't take a Ferrari into a demolition derby, but that's exactly what the WNBA wanted. Clark hobbling around just to squeeze a few extra ratings points. That's not leadership, that's desperation. And Clark knows it. She holds the power. The truth is, she doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs her. She could walk away tomorrow and still have her pick of opportunities. Broadcasting, endorsements, overseas play, even building her own brand. Meanwhile, the league is still propped up by the NBA, decades into an uphill fight for relevance. And here's the irony. After all those years of slow growth, it was Clark, a sophomore, who finally dragged the WNBA into the spotlight, carrying it further than any speech from the commissioner's office ever could. That's why the quit the league talk feels real. Fans are already saying it out loud. If Clark's not playing, I'm not watching. Their loyalty is to her, not the league. If she walks, they walk. And that's what instant regret looks like.
And taking the time. And there is a difference in being a role player and coming in and playing a role and coming in off of an injury. There is a rhythm. But when you are Caitlin Clark and you have the ball in your hands and you are on the other team's scouting report, to come in half and not be able to be in that amount of, I would say, rhythm of the game, because the rhythm of the game changes towards the end of the year. And so when it started getting closer to the end of the regular season, I was like, it's dangerous to come back during playoff basketball because the whole flow, the physicality, all of that is different. And so I know it's difficult to kind of take time and understand the big picture, especially when you're living with tunnel vision and you've worked so hard to get to where you're at, but it's the smart thing. And I'm proud of this generation for taking the time they need, looking at the bigger picture, and making sure that they get healthy. So, Caitlin Clark, hope you feel better. You have a great offseason and you come back.
Candace Parker deserves credit for saying what nobody else would. She wasn't just advising Caitlin Clark. She was calling out the WNBA. Stop running players into the ground. Stop pushing them back too soon. Clark isn't some rotation piece. She's the player every scouting report circles in red. If she's not 100%, she has no business being out there. Parker practically applauded her for realizing that truth before it was too late. But here's the twist. This isn't only about health. It's about trust. Clark poured everything into the game. Hours of rehab, endless grind. And when she finally broke the news, her thanks went to fans and teammates. Not the league, not the refs, not leadership. That silence says it all. The people who showed up for her were the fans. The league didn't. And that's why the Clark could walk away. Talk feels real. Because make no mistake, Clark doesn't need the WNBA. She could go to Europe, earn more money, play fewer games, and actually get a whistle from referees. Or she could ditch the grind completely and build an empire. Broadcasting, endorsements, ownership, no projects. She could be bigger than the league itself. Meanwhile, the WNBA would be left clutching regrets, watching the savior they squandered thrive without them. And remember, this isn't happening in a vacuum. The WNBA has always lived in that almost there, but not quite zone. Salary complaints, travel issues, empty gyms. Then Clark arrived, and overnight, everything changed. Ratings soared, arenas filled. For a brief moment, it looked like all the old problems had vanished. But the second Clark went down, the illusion shattered. The curtain dropped, and the same old WNBA flaws stared everyone in the face. That's where Parker's voice hits hardest. She lived this already. She admitted she ignored injuries, pushed too far, and paid the price. Now, as a retired legend, she's waving the red flag. Don't let the league break you the way it broke me. The fact that warning even needs to be said proves the WNBA hasn't learned a thing. And you know what's coming next. A sterile press release about player safety or supporting Caitlin's recovery. Fans aren't buying it. They watch her get hacked. They watched refs swallow whistles. They watched leadership stay silent while Clark limped through games. No statement fixes that. That's why Clark leaving isn't some fantasy. It's a legitimate possibility. And if it happens, catastrophe. Ticket sales vanish. Merch dries up. Highlights disappear. Arenas turn into ghost towns. Sponsors want answers. The commissioner scrambles for excuses. That's the nuclear fallout. The truth is, the WNBA has always leaned on stars. Diana Taurasi carried it. Then Candace Parker. Then Maya Moore. But Clark is different. She isn't just a star. She's the star. She's the one who brought millions of fresh eyes to the game. She turned regular season nights into headline events. You cannot afford to lose her. Period. Yet here we are, year 2 of her career, and instead of playoff highlights, Clark is sidelined with injuries the league could have prevented. She delivered everything they asked for, the hype, the fans, the wins. And what did she get in return? Elbows, flagrant fouls, and no protection until her body gave out. That's not disappointment. That's betrayal. And still, Clark showed her maturity. Every force, the media, the sponsors, the playoff hype, tried to push her back early. She said no. She chose her future over the league's desperation. That decision proves she understands her value better than the WNBA ever did. Fans see it too. They were the ones buying tickets months in advance. And now they're saying it out loud. If Clark's not playing, why should I watch? That's the nightmare sentence the league can't spin away. This isn't Angel Reese drama. This isn't another travel complaint. This is the WNBA's crown jewel benched. While Candace Parker, one of the greatest of all time, says flat out, Clark was right to protect herself. That's not a headline. That's a crisis. The league has a choice. Either protect the superstar who's keeping them alive, real officiating, real safeguards, real investment, or watch her walk and take their future with her. Because here's the truth. When Sue Bird retired, the league survived. When Parker retired, the league survived. But if Clark walks, there is no recovery. You don't replace her. You collapse without her. So congratulations, WNBA. You begged for a superstar, you got one, and you exploited her until she broke. Now she's out, and you're staring down the doomsday question. What if she never comes back? Here's the bottom line. Clark's injuries silenced the league, but her quitting? That would end it. Candace Parker just confirmed what fans already know. Caitlin Clark was right to protect herself. And if the league doesn't wise up, if they keep ignoring the warning signs, then one day Clark will make the decision no press release can spin. She'll walk away. And when that happens, the WNBA's instant regret won't just be a headline. It'll be their obituary.
Here's the bottom line. Caitlin Clark's injury silenced the league, but her quitting? That would end it. The WNBA can't survive without her, and Candace Parker just made that crystal clear. She confirmed what fans already know. Clark was right to protect herself. And if the league doesn't wise up, if they keep ignoring the warning signs, then one day Clark might make the decision that no press release can spin. She'll walk away for good. And when that happens, the WNBA's instant regret won't just be a phrase, it'll be their obituary. Let us know down in the comments below if you think Caitlin should leave the WNBA. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.